This is Marcy Wallace with my field experience presentation on online teaching. For my field experience, I observed in a pre-algebra credit recovery class. There were 5 students in the class who were all from Carlisle, Pennsylvania. This is an 8-week class from mid-June to July. The instructor lives in North Carolina, and he told me that he feels more like a facilitator than a teacher. The home district may provide the hardware and/or tech support for the students, but the online school does not provide any of the hardware or tech support. This course is an asynchronous classroom environment. The course is laid out in Blackboard by the instructor, and all of the lessons are provided by the online school and are set up in soft chalk. In the soft chalk lesson, there is a pretest, vocabulary matching. There are projects that are interactive, but for this credit recovery class, the projects were not required. There is a course challenge. There are 5 to 6 quizzes per lesson. There's practice for the students, and those practices are links to activities at the Fun Brain website. The instructor does have a live class once a week, and that class is also recorded for future viewing. The instructor can also check to see how long the students have been working online. And if the student doesn't seem to be doing their work, the instructor will contact them over the phone. And the second point of contact for the students is the teacher would contact the parents, and then if need be, the instructor will contact the home school, letting the home school know the student's progress. The qualifications for taking an online class with this company is that the students need to be approved by their home school to take an online class. The teacher that I observed is certified in middle school math, and he is also certified grades 7 through 12 for social studies. He has received training for both Blackboard and soft chalk from the online school. The online school also provides professional development, and there is a supervisor that oversees the class. The instructor and I talked at great length about the different students that take online classes. For this class that I was able to observe in, it was a credit recovery class, so that the students needed to earn the credit to be promoted to the next grade level for school next year. During the regular school year, the instructor told me that his class sizes are between 15 and 20 students, and I asked him what type of students that he finds that take online courses, and I was very surprised by some of the answers. He said he has had students that are professional athletes, students that have medical conditions that cannot attend a school. He's also had students of missionary parents, and those students are actually out of the country and do their schooling. And he's also had students that have to work full-time to help provide for their family. We also discussed communication and how parents, teachers, and students communicate in an online learning environment. This particular teacher has told me that his students have his cell phone number and can text him. They will email him, and he also has a help session once a week that the students can contact him via. The students also know that if he cannot get back to them right away, he will get back to them as soon as possible. He also told me that he tends to contact parents over the phone because he said sometimes an email can be misinterpreted, and that's the last thing he would like. So if he needs to contact parents, he contacts them over the phone. Online learning has time commitments that are needed both by the student and the teacher. The students must be aware of their deadlines and keep up with their workloads. The online instructor is required to have an hour live class session per week and an hour help session per week. They are also available to the students with questions via phone or email just about any time. The teachers that I observed likes to use the announcements in Blackboard to remind students of due dates, the live class sessions, and the help sessions. And most important, the instructor needs to have time to give feedback to the students for all of their assignments. The learning management systems have tools that the teachers can use to communicate with students also, and for students to communicate with each other. There is a discussion board, which unfortunately was not used in the summer classes. And the instructor that I observed also told me that he really doesn't feel discussion boards are good for a math class. He has used them in his social studies classes and feels they're a great tool. For his math classes, he likes to use the journals. He encourages the students to take notes in a journal and also to use the journal to explain how they solved a specific problem. Online courses are graded just like any other course, with the exception of the credit recovery course. These courses, the students can only receive 65%, and those grades are given back to their home school, and they can only receive the 65% because it is for recovery. So more or less, credit recovery classes are pass or fail. During the regular semester, the grades are still reported back to their home school. The instructor I observed likes to use rubrics for the major assignments in the curriculum. He also has a grading policy for simple activities such as homework that he grades on a points policy of a 0, 5, 10, all based on the student's effort. He likes to give feedback. He comments on incorrect answers. He comments on the entire test. He may tell the students it's good job, he did a good job, or it was awesome. He will actually also comment for the student on the exact section of the lesson where the students can go back and redo the assignments. We did talk about academic integrity. He said there's kind of no easy answer to know whether the student's doing the work themselves. He said some of the work he has is turned in the student's handwriting. The students will scan it and send it to him. And he can get to know the student's handwriting after a while. We talked about online assessments, and he does not like to time his math tests for online assessments, and he will always allow the students to take a test twice, even in his regular classroom. We discussed the rule that the homeschool provides for an online class. The homeschool has to approve the students to be able to take an online class. They also advise the teachers of an IEP or accommodations or modifications that are needed for a particular student. And they also, the instructor also refers discipline problems back to the homeschool. He told me that he has a 0 tolerance policy for inappropriate behavior. And if he does have a student make inappropriate comments, he will copy them and send them to the homeschool to be dealt with. The homeschool also gives them the report cards, and they have to be notified if the student is not in compliance with the classwork. I've taken many online courses in college, and I came away feeling very differently about online learning for K-12 students. I learned that the homeschool has more involvement that is required, and that the types of students are very different than I expected. But I still believe that students need to be very disciplined. And I also think that I might like to teach an online class. Thank you for listening to my presentation.